dress areas in the U.S. So I came up with about 5 areas in the U.S. that I think, you know, some of the best dressed, you know, areas, people, in the U.S. Um, in order, starting at 5, I say Miami. Um, Miami's kind of known for having like, being, very tropical in terms of the colors, like, um, specifically like when LeBron was in Miami, you had the South Beach LeBrons with the different like popping colorways with the, like the light blue, pink, and white. I think those are dope, and it kind of represents, kind of how it is in Miami. And you see people, with when you see their outfits with, different like exotic colors and exotic, even exotic cars, exotic whips. So I think that's real dope. Um, when you're in Miami, obviously the weather's great. People can, wear they, bathing suit, swim trunks, show their body. Women can wear they bathing suit, show their body, and um, also just the footwear. You know what I'm saying, is dope. You know what I'm saying, and so people, pride themselves in looking good in Miami. I think it's dope. So Miami is probably my number 5 and best dressed areas in the U.S. Then at number 4, I gotta go. I say Chicago. Um, you know, Obviously you got the birth of the Jordan brand, retro Jordans, what Jordan did while playing in Chicago. You know, and the iconic aspect of his sneakers and the staple it had, not only in Chicago but just all over the world. Um, you got the influence of Kanye, you know, during his, quote unquote prime time era in in his career, early on, just getting to just whatever trend Kanye was on. People just doing the same thing, trying to wear the same exact fit. Kanye's been a staple for multiple trends, you know, throughout his time. So, um, you know, people, being influenced by it. I think nowadays, you know, it's just more so the sneaker, influence. Prior was the sneaker and just whatever Kanye wore that people just always would just, just buy just because Kanye wore. So it just kind of speaks to the influence Kanye has. Um, and then obviously you got Virgil, what he did with, obviously building off white, um, Pyrex and, you know, Louis Vuitton and Nike and everything he did, the influence he had on the culture was massive, and still to this day is massive. So fortunately he's not physically present with us, and you know be able to continue creating dope stuff he was creating while he was presently alive. But you know, very impactful and influential. Um, and it just Chicago's overall just people dress well. You know what I'm saying? So I put Chicago in there at number 4. Then number 3, I got LA. Los Angeles, um, the influence of, just, again, weather and how you can, dress with the weather, skate culture is pretty much been birthed in LA, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of the brands, skating brands, stuff like that were birthed out there. And, skate culture is a huge culture, not just in the US, but all over the world, with the Vans and Supreme and all of that. So many other brands that you can say, but uh, major influential brands all throughout the country and the world. Um, Tyler, the creator, his influence doesn't kind of goes unsaid. Tyler's really a big influence in terms of style, I believe, in ways. Uh, and just probably uh, in terms of the just the culture. I mean, um, of LA. There really hasn't been any super massive, like, I guess, style influence. Like I said, Tyler is one. There's been so many others, but I just think that just this aspect of so many brands setting up shop out there, um, new brands, old brands. Gives people access to a lot of dope clothes, and people, like I said, dress well out there. Um, so I think that's probably one of the main aspects when it comes to LA, just the fact that they have access to a lot of these dope brands. Um, wouldn't say that they've been like a city that's been super trendy in the way that certain fads of dressing, but they just been a city that has a lot of access to a lot of dope brands, and obviously you got this celebrities and people out there. So it's just makes it them influential in a lot of ways. Number two, I go with the DMV, my hometown area. Um, just when it comes to urban apparel, I think that we're like urban dressing. You know, I think that the DMV is number one. You know what I'm saying? Been so many brands, um, some of which never really got, I guess, national, but mainly local. That are dope. Shooters, Saul Beato, um, Mistine. It's just like a lot of brands that are kind of like DMV staples that are dope. Um, to just making certain sneakers and the New Balances, the Nike boots, the foam posits. These are all like you know apparel, sneakers that is really like DMV staples. Like prior to DMV, nobody else outside DMV started really like wearing these, Nike boots, foams, uh, New Balances prior to the DMV. Um, North Faces wasn't. I mean, North Face was people wore in New York, but like it's a staple out in DMV. So like I say, even North Face, um, uh, and you know, just always been just a distinct swagger when it comes to DMV. Obviously, even right now, you got one of the probably a staple brand out in the local area. The museum, uh, that's a dope brand I really like. Um, and then obviously, I'm obviously, like I said, that's my hometown area. So you got my brands, who is I just started, so I'm still in the works of, obviously making it more known and stuff. But my brand, which will be a known brand in due time, or one of the major brands, so to speak, in due time. So I'm gonna put myself in there, and then um, it's just I got two brands called No Labels and uh, Fit, uh, and so um, and then obviously the Virginia area, of the DMV, obviously the influence of Pharrell, major influence, um, obviously right now he's the creative designer and director at Louis Vuitton. You know, throughout his whole career, he's been a part of so many major brands, and he's one of those dark horses when it comes to the culture and the fashion. I don't think he gets enough just due in terms of his influence, his impact. You know, going back to the big days when he just started with Nego and Billionaire Boys and just the different trends that Pharrell has, you know, made cool throughout his, lifetime, his career, all of that major. Um, so that swag. Uh, Even Missy Elliott, she's a Virginia person. Her swagger, um, one of those one unique swags. Um, and so yeah, the Virginia area, obviously, got the beaches and you know, from where you just your bathing suits and swim trunks and stuff like that. Show off your body, which is cool too. Um, so yeah, gotta give that homage to the VA aspect, the whole DMV, man. So and then at number one, I gotta go with New York. Say New York, obviously has the luxury of most of the starting brands, known brands, setting up shop out there. But New York has always been a city with people have always looked to see what the trend is, or um, what's popping, what what I'm saying, what New Yorkers is wearing. Especially to me, probably the most influential area in terms of style of dress in New York has probably been Harlem. You know what I'm saying? That's the one, area, what I'm saying, in New York that I think people pride themselves the most in, like, being fresh and stuff. Harlem and Soho, um, and other areas, but those are probably the two prime areas where people really, you know, trying to get fresh and all of that. Um, Dame Dash, being an influence, uh, Dipset, um, all the Dipset, their style, their swag, ASAP Mob, even to this day, um, their influence, their style, their swag on the culture, massive, very very massive. I think um, they haven't. I wish they would put out more content, or, as they used to do, the ASAP Mob. But for the most part, throughout the 2010s, they were probably, in terms of style and fashion, the most influential. Just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? During, the time when they was, you know, really out here, outside, as they say. Um, but I see it. I say, them and um, just it's always been a trendy city out in New York. Even in other areas, Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens. We've got some fresh people out there. You know what I'm saying? Not to knock anybody. You know what I'm saying? The other boroughs and areas. But overall, New York is just a city of people who always trying to be fresh. You know what I'm saying? And I've always been somebody who appreciated that. You know what I'm saying? I embrace that. I think it's important to be fresh and look good, and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So these is just my list of the some of the best dressed areas in the U.S. from my experience that I've been and seen. So.